क्या हाल भाई? गुड मॉर्निंग तुषार।
गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग। हाँ, गुड मॉर्निंग।
की हाल चाल?
बस बढ़िया।
भाई इस वीकेंड पे मिल ले मेरे से प्लीज।
हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है, वो करते हैं।
हम्म।
ओके, सो द स्पीकर इज जॉइनिंग। एक सेकेंड। हाय सोनिका। ठीक है। So we will be starting shortly. The speaker is having some connectivity issues. So as soon as that is resolved, we can start. So I request everybody to please be a bit patient. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just wait for like 2, 3 more minutes, and then we can start the webinar for today. Kamal sir, good morning, and I think Sonika is also here. So good morning, Sonika.
Good morning, Tushar.
Yeah, so we'll just start in like a few
Yeah,
minutes.
we should wait for 2, 3 minutes. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think we can start and hopefully we'll get more participants as time goes on. So, very good morning to all. My name is Architect Tushar Mandal and I am a teaching faculty at the Periyar School of Architecture, New Delhi. So, I welcome you all to the 9th webinar in the Every Friday webinar series, a platform for young minds to express their ideas. Today's webinar will be about entry into gate architecture and will be presented by architect Sonika. So before introducing the speaker for today, I would like to introduce architect Kamal Raj, who is also the head of department of the Periyar School of Architecture. Sir, if you could say a few words to motivate all of us.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I think it's very, very important to understand how to get entry into, today it's very important to do your masters so that you are in a proper position to express your talent. And I did my masters way back in 1986 when many people would not opt for a master's degree. Very few people used to opt for master's degree, but it was a life-changing event. Although after my master's degree, I continued to practice architecture, but the learnings from that master's program helped me to structure my practice and do well in life. So I think it's very, very important to understand how to get in. How to understand the competitive entrance process to get into the right institution, which will give you a right platform in life for the future. So I think we should start now, and it will be a learning experience for me also to understand what is happening in current situation. So please, I think we can start the thing.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So now we'll introduce our speaker for today's webinar, architect Sonika. I would request her if she could just switch on her camera. So Sonika is an architect with an interest in sustainable urbanism and accessible and walkable neighborhood planning. Her post-graduation thesis project was aimed to create a child-friendly, walkable, and socially active neighborhood. She is also volunteering at Placemaking X, a global platform committed to creating healthy and inclusive communities. She is currently a PhD scholar at IIT Kharagpur and pursuing research in the field of inclusive built environment. Today, she will be talking about the GATE architecture and planning exam. So I request Sonika if you could now begin your presentation.
Yeah. So I hope you can hear me and my camera is also working. So
yes, you're audible and visible.
Yeah, okay. So good morning, everyone. And I completely agree with what Sir had just said that doing a postgraduate exam in this studies for me also was a sort of life-changing event. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And so maybe I'll just share my screen and we'll start with today's discussion. Yeah, so is the screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, all right. So let's begin, everyone. So today we'll be talking about this particular thing, that is gate architecture. And for today's presentation, I have decided to do this in two parts. So first of all, we'll talk about the introduction and we'll understand what exactly is the gate exam and who all can appear for the examination and the importance of qualifying this exam, the syllabus, and what type of questions we can expect in this examination. And then we'll also talk about how do we prepare and how do we go about this exam. So during this part, we can discuss in three ways. So what shall we do before the examination, and the during part, and what is the opportunities or options that we could explore after the examination, right? So let's start. So GATE is Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. It is conducted by Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education, for admission to postgraduate examinations related to engineering branches. In our case, we are talking about the specialization, that is architecture and planning. So initially, only the final year students and of course those who have completed their undergraduate studies could appear for this exam. But from this year onwards, that is 2022, the student of pre-final year could also appear. So which means the students of fourth and fifth year of Bachelor's of Architecture and students of third plus fourth year from the planning backgrounds could also appear, which is an added advantage that we have. So we can start preparing for this examination from the third year of our Bachelor's of Architecture itself, and then we could appear in the fourth year. And depending upon the rank or the marks that we have scored, we could always improve our rank in the final year so that we have a good rank in our hand and we could directly continue for our postgraduate studies. Whereas the students initially or the earlier they appeared in their final years, and maybe if they were not able to score good ranks, so they again had to take one more year, and then in that case you're going to have to find out the alternate option for your 1 year. And talking about the importance of GATE exam, so basically this is meant for higher education, but there are other advantages also that comes along with this particular exam. So if you qualify GATE, and obviously with a good rank, then you get entry into centrally funded technical institutes, and you also get scholarships. So what all are these centrally funded technical institutes? These includes your IITs and NITs. Apart from this, such schools as School of Planning and Architecture, those schools are also School of National Importance, School of Planning and Architecture Delhi, SPA Bhopal and SPA Vijayawada. So your chances of getting into such programs also increases if you qualify GATE exam. And further, if you qualify GATE exam and get into centrally funded technical institutes, you further get a lot of opportunities, because there are chances that such institutes have PhD programs as well. So you could also opt for integrated masters plus PhD program, or even if you want to opt for PhD program after having completed your postgraduate. So that is, a chain effect of advantages that you're going to get if you qualify the GATE exam. And apart from the higher education opportunities, there are employment opportunities as well. So it is very common for PSUs to hire or appoint candidates with engineering background from on the basis of their GATE score. So this is very common for civil engineering or the mechanical engineering, whereas it is not that common for architecture. But there are few examples. Lastly, in 2018, the Airport Authority of India has appointed assistant architects on the basis of GATE score. So we could also expect, certain opportunities in our case as well. And apart from PSUs, the students, those who are pursuing MTechs, and if they have to sit for their campus placement examinations, so they also prepare on the basis of GATE exam. They do refer to the previous year question paper. So basically, it helps in so many ways. And apart from this campus placement, PSUs, there are other competitive examinations also which are related to planning and architecture background. So preparing for GATE will also boost your confidence for appearing for other competitive examinations related to our domain, that is architecture. And I have come across so many architects, those who are not, willing to pursue a master's, or not, are not looking for government opportunities. They still appear for these examination, and they repeat, their appearance in the examination, maybe after 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years. So what it does is, it helps us do a self-assessment, as in where do we stand and how much information we have got about the subject, and what are the new trends or the new things that are going on in our examinations. So it also allows us to do a self-assessment, and we are basically up to date with the knowledge of our profession. And apart from this, what I would also say is, even if you're going for applying for private firms and such jobs, so in your CV also, it adds little value that you are GATE qualified. Then we shall have a look at the syllabus of this examination. So the syllabus of this examination has been modified a little bit. Those who are appearing for this GATE 2022 are going to face this new pattern in their examination. Before 2022, so the entire thing, the entire syllabus had to be studied by both the architecture and planning students. So which was a disadvantage for both. The architecture students might not be that available, that aware of the details of planning, or maybe the other subjects of planning. And same goes for planning students do not study the structures, or maybe let's say the building materials. So it was a disadvantage. So basically, as a whole, if we talk about the larger picture, is that in your GATE exam, there will be the core subject, that is architecture and planning, and plus there will be aptitude. So we'll discuss this. And apart from this, the type of question that you can expect is MCQs, NATs, and MSQs. So I'll just explain these. So first of all, let's talk about the syllabus. So this is the common part, which includes the basic or the fundamental things which are related to design, the planning theories, the design theories, the color theories. Such kind of things are basic and common for both the students, for B plan and the B arc as well. So the common part includes architecture and planning, architecture planning and design, construction management, environmental planning and design, urban design, conservation, landscape, planning processes, housing, services and infrastructure. So this both the students are taking up. And then there are two parts, that is B1 and B2. So now it is up to you if you want to go for the B1 part or the B2 part, that is the planning part. So here I just want to mention that it is not to get confused that if you have opted for the B1 part, and then you will only get admission into MR programs. So it is not so. Even if you go for B1 part, you could still go for M plannings, and same goes for even if you opt for the planning portion, that is B2. So it does not matter that what program that you are going to study. It is just for the benefit of students, because they come from different backgrounds, as in the planning or architecture. So the architecture part focuses more onto the contemporary trends that are going on into the architectural world, and also the history. And this includes a lot of information about the structural system and the building construction, the plumbing, the electrical parts, and the sustainability, which is the the latest thing that is being advocated by all the world leaders. And then talking about the planning part, so the planning part's focus is more onto the planning subjects. So regional planning and settlement planning, planning techniques and management, including the use of GIS and the software such as ArcGIS and other things that are associated with the surveying in planning branches. And then we have infrastructure planning. So this is about the course subject, that is architecture. Apart from this, there's aptitude as well. So we need to pay attention to the fact that this is a test of our aptitude. So if you are good in aptitude, which means the general aptitude, there are chances that we'll perform good in the core subject as well. So the aptitude part will include the quantitative aptitude, verbal aptitude, which is your English, and the general awareness as well. So once the example that I have for you from this general awareness aptitude question is, so the questions are somewhat going to be related to architecture field itself. So they asked which of the following is not a constitutional right. So land acquisition, and there were other several options. So you should be aware of the current things, the latest affairs that are going on in the profession, in order to score good in the general awareness aptitude part. So now coming to the question type. So the question type will be either MCQs or NATs. So in MCQs, you'll have 4 options, and one of them will be the correct option that you're going to have to choose. So within this, there could be matched the following kind of questions as well. So you'll have two columns, and then you have to match the correct options. Then we have NATs. So NATs mostly includes our numericals, that is numerical answer type, and you have to fill in the answer that you have calculated. right? So why I'm mentioning this question type is because from 2022 onwards, a very interesting addition has been done in the question types. It is multiple select questions. These are called MSQs. So here, if you're not completely well versed with the concept that is asked in the question, you'll not be able to score, because here not just one option is correct. So there could be more than one correct answers. So answer A could be correct, or A or B, and similarly all three could be correct, and maybe the all four could be correct. So there are no negative markings, so that is an advantage here. In the MSQs we do not have negative marking, and even for NATs there is no negative marking. So negative marking is there only for the MCQs, right? And so so this is this thing started from the GATE 2021 onwards, and so there was this confusion if as in out of 65 questions, how we are going to assess which particular question has more than one correct answer. So it confused that there are chances that all of the 55 questions from architecture subject could have multiple correct answers. So, but what Kate did is they just mention on each question, if the question is MSQ type of a question, so they'll just mention that here this is an MSQ type of a question, and there are chances that more than one answer could be correct. And the type of questions that they have asked within these particular categories who are mostly related to the standards related questions. So the question was there related to the length of the pedestrian track or a cycle track. Those kind of questions were there. So you're going to have to study standards in detail as well, and any concept that you are studying. So you have to pay attention to all the minute details so that you can score in the MSQ questions. And as a whole, if you have to summarize everything, so let's divide the architecture part into two ways. So the architecture core thing that we study, plus whatever is the possible specialization an architecture graduate is eligible for. So those kind of question will also be there, and it will be in two forms. They'll check our concept, the theoretical concepts and the numerical concepts as well, right? So now coming to the numerical topics. So these are the topics that are almost 90% of the numericals are covered within these within this list. So maybe you could take a screenshot of this slide as well and prepare one by one. So reverberation time, which is very frequently asked in GATE examinations, and there are questions related to heat, which includes conduction, convections, and solar temperature, etc. Then valuation. Sinking fund is the one concept that is also asked quite a lot of times. And then we have surveying, which includes the conventional techniques and as well as the new developments that are going on into the surveying field. Illumination, the FAR calculations, structures, construction management, population projection, electricity, parking calculation, hydraulics. In hydraulics, the use of Manning equations is there, and also the questions related to calculating the flow of water from the constructed end or the non-constructed end. And then we have questions related to septic tanks and related to lifts, building construction and material as well. So in building construction and material, am I forgetting the structures part? No. Yeah, so structures is also something that you need to pay attention. The architecture students understand the concept, no? So you'll easily score in the numerical portions of structure. And in the building construction and material questions, we can expect finding out the volume of wet concrete or the concrete mixture, and we shall be familiar with what are the various grades of concrete and the categories of bricks, and what are the defects associated with various building materials, including timber and bricks, and the bleeding of concrete and the mortars, and those kind of effects we must be familiar with. So now let's talk about the preparation strategy. So what shall we do before examination? So the best way to prepare for a GATE exam is to start with the previous year question papers. So you shall invest in such kind of a book, which is basically a compilation of previous year question papers with answers or maybe with explanations as well. So what happens when you do the previous year question papers? So you'll get an idea about the structure of exam and what are the questions that are always repeated and what to expect in the examination, basically, right? So what happens? The concept, the underlying concept that the examiner is interested in testing of the graduates, they always remain same. For example, the history of architecture will remain same. The underlying formula for reverberation will remain same. So what the examiner will do is the question will be changed. The statement might be changed, or they'll just twist the question in a way. So, but if you understand the underlying concept with the help of previous year question paper, so you'll be good to go for any kind of questions, right? And one good strategy will also be that you not just focus on the correct option. It is also a good idea to in the next exam, next year's exam. So you'll have questions from the other option, right? So this is one tested approach for preparing for GATE exams. And then, so I had just told you that underlying concepts remain same. So is it that the questions are always going to repeat it? No. So the basic concepts are there. So they have to. The examiner always wants to add, new knowledge and new kind of questions just to check if the candidate is familiar with the knowledge that has already been there, or if he's keeping himself updated with the latest trends as well, right? So questions from current affairs also come. So here the current affairs are related to in a way to architecture or the planning profession. So questions related to which new property have been inscribed in the UNESCO World Heritage List in the year 2021 and in the year 2022. So such kind of questions are also there. So you shall keep an eye and always keep a check of the new things that are going on in the related domains. And questions related to Pritzker Prize winners have always been there. So please do not expect a direct question always, as in who's the architect who's got the Pritzker Prize. So there could be questions related to that particular topic. For example, if architect B.V. Doshi has been conferred the Pritzker Prize, so a question could be from his works, right? And what is his philosophy? What is his design theory? Those kind of questions could also come. And also the contemporary events that take place in the profession you shall be aware of, and the works of eminent national and the international architects are also frequently asked. Then the new edition, the new kind of question that the GATE has sort of added is the questions comes from research methodology part as well. For example, there have been a question where they asked about the what kind of so they had shown you the scatter diagram, and they asked what kind of relation is there in those pictures. Is it a negative relation, a positive relation, or there's no relation? So investing some of your time in understanding the basics, just the basic. You do not have to conduct any particular scientific method, but just be familiar about the ideas, what a researcher is expected to do, what kind of research are there, qualitative and the quantitative kind of research, and also basic statistics that are used in research. So what is regression and correlation? This is the definition part, so that we can score marks in this particular topic as well. And then coming to the numerical parts, even though I had given you a list which includes all of the numericals, but here again I'm mentioning these are the questions which you can expect 99.9% will be there in the examination, right? So heat, sound, and illumination. So the questions related to light. So prepare these questions in a very detailed way. So they're always there. So these three are very heat, light, and sound are always there in the examinations. And then calculation of runoff, FARs, and questions from structures are also going to be there related to the bending stress, and also related to shear force diagram and the bending movements, and the population projections, right? So you might have to learn certain formulas for the heat, sound, or illumination pattern, and maybe also for the structures. But if you understand the other topics of numerical, it is just the aptitude part. So if you are good with aptitude, you'll be able to implement that mathematical knowledge into architectural numericals as well. And then comes a statement that I have always been told by my seniors and my mentors when I was preparing for GATE, because I thought I'll just score in the architectural part, and I did not pay a lot of attention to the aptitude part, right? And this is what most of students think, that okay, we have been studying architecture for 5 years, so we'll just score in that, and we don't really care about the aptitude part. So that is okay, that is fine. But what happens when we score in aptitude parts? So this is the point where the rank is decided. So architecture part every student is familiar with, but the aptitude parts add values to your rank. Then before examination, we shall also practice the mock test. So what we should do in mock test is that we shall practice a real time exam kind of a situation. Sit in front of your desktop. Do not use a physical calculator. Use a online calculator inbuilt in your PC. So the every terms and condition that is going to be there in the examinations, practice accordingly. Practice on the scientific calculator online, and because there you are not going to solve things in your notebook and then use your calculator on your phone and then put in the question. So it would be a good idea to practice a real time exam kind of a situation before examination. And so it will give you an idea about what are the weak portions of your subject that you have to cover up. And along with this also helps in understanding the management of time. So what happens, this exam uh, can take more than 5 hours for one to solve. We sit and solve certain questions, so it could take even more than that. But the idea is that you have to convey that knowledge in 3 hours. So completing your exam on time is something that is really important, and we shall prepare our strategies of time management of 3 hours before the examination. And students who appear for the examination for the very first time, they tend to freak out when they appear for the exam, so they panic. So it will also be a good idea to practice exam kind of a situation. You're going to go in the examination hall. You're going to relax. You'll be going to be comfortable with the competitive environment of the exam, right? So mock test is very helpful in that aspect. So now we are talking about during the examination portion. So the very first thing when you enter the examination hall is that you should just relax and you should take your time and just be comfortable with the environment. So and do not just panic, because that is of course going to affect our performance exam. And then when the test starts, from 3 hours, you shall at least take 5 to 10 minutes to skim through the entire exam that is there. Just go through the entire exam, and so that you get a holistic picture of the exam, and there's no element of surprise that, oh my god, what is going to be the next question, what is the next question, if I know the next numerical or not. So we know what is next, and so we know, okay, so where do we stand. So we get to see all those 65 questions in one go, and we are like, okay, so I am familiar with at least 50 questions, and then maybe I'll spend more time on those 50 questions, and the rest 15 question maybe I'll spend the remaining time on those questions as well, right? So skimming through the entire exam would be a good idea. And then we shall develop a personal strategy. So here, it is not for me to tell you that you do this, and there's no hard and fast formula, when we are sitting in the examination, or maybe before the examination as well. So we shall develop a personal kind of a strategy, whatever that works for us. But one thing that I could suggest you is that many candidates, those who appear for GATE examination and score good ranks and are, those serious candidates, they do not start from the very first question. So they might start from the very last question. They might just want to start from the 15th question or any random 23rd question. So why it is that is, it is sort of assumed, or it is sort of believe in the starting of examination. So let's say initial 5-6 questions are going to be the very difficult or the time-taking questions. So if you're not able to solve the very first question, okay, we're not able to solve the second question as well. Okay, the third question also taking a lot of time. So what happens? It builds sort of stress, and we panic, and our performance is hampered. So let's ignore the initial 10 questions, let's say, and then start from the 11th questions. And this strategy you could test or develop during your preparation before the examination with the help of mock exams, right? And then we come to this theory, which have been sort of discovered by one of my senior. That is the no offense theory. So what happens? And here I'm talking about the serious candidates. So when they are solving any question in the examination, and they think and they are able to recall the certain concept that is related to the question, but they're not able to solve the question. So what happens? We are solving it. Okay, I know this concept, and I'm still giving a lot of try, but it is taking a lot of time. So do not take offense that you are not able to solve the question. Do not indulge in the ego issue with the question, and just save your time. Skip that particular question for now, and maybe we could revisit that particular question. So in one go, do all the questions that we can do, and then revisit the remaining questions, right? And then talking about the time when we are done and we are left with last let's say 15 minutes, so it would be a good idea to just run down the entire exam and just check if you're familiar with any question that you have forgot to fill the or to choose the option for. So running down the entire exam would be a good idea. And then we talk about, we have left examination all, what shall we do after the exam? So first of all, we should just have some fun and relax and appreciate the fact that we had prepared for this examination and also appeared for this examination, right? And if we qualify, we are among top 15% candidates, those who appear for the examination, right? So that is a good thing to do. And meanwhile, we could also do is we could explore the postgraduate courses. So I would recommend you guys to the website of individual IITs or maybe the other institutes like SPAs as well, and see the courses that they are offering. So what happens? Sometimes you're not familiar with various fields, especially the new students, and maybe let's say from colleges that do not offer a lot of exposure. So visiting the websites of various institutes would be a good idea. And architecture graduates have been going for M planning and M Tech in construction management and maybe M-Arch and the sustainability aspects, which is very favorite or the most frequently preferred options of architecture graduates. But there are a few lesser explored postgraduate courses as well, which I just want to mention. That is system engineering and structural engineering, and somebody who's a GIS specialist, a professional person or a professional course related to GIS is also there. IIT Roorkee is offering such one course where architecture graduates could also go for. And one interesting field that I have explored is system engineering. So even though architecture students or graduates, they do not prefer studying mathematics, but just in case, if you're somebody who's interested in mathematics, if numbers is something that interests you a lot, and if you're interested in statistics, if you want to understand the dynamics of the complex world and you're interested in managing the complex systems, you should go for system engineering as well. So IIT Bombay and IIT Kharagpur also has such branches, and I guess IIT Roorkee also has such one of the course. So I think that's it about, I believe I have introduced you guys to the GATE exam, and enough have been shared about the preparation strategy. And I just want to share this interesting analysis as well, as in how much marks you could expect for a particular rank. So here, if you could see, it is sort of a rank predictor or sort of a qualifying marks predictor. So the very first line, that is this 42 marks line. So if you obtain 42 marks, it is assumed that the GATE 2022 you'll qualify. And if you want to go for let's say a double-digit rank, so at least 60 marks that you're going to have to cover. score, and you'll get a rank within hundreds. And one interesting thing that this data is showing is that, so now let's have a look at two consecutive marks. So one candidate has scored 53 marks and the other candidate has scored 54 marks. But the difference in rank is huge. So the one who's scoring 53 marks has scored a rank of 338. And the one who scored just 1 mark more than the previous candidate, that is 54, is going to score All India rank 281. So there's a huge difference. So do not underestimate each question or the aptitude part or any topic. So pay attention to all the topics, to all the questions equally, and because this can help in achieving our rank significantly. And other issue that the students face is that how much, because there's this negative marking involved, so how much risk we shall take. So of course, if a lot of questions go wrong, so the marks will exponentially decline, but the calculator risk shall always be taken, because it could then again, of course, exponentially improve your rank and score as well. So, and also you could see that if you score above 70, you could get a rank from 1 to 21 or 25. Let's say you'll be among the top 25 candidates who have appeared, and here you get admission to the most demanding or the favorite branches, that is for let's say for IIT Delhi, at least top, you should have a rank in at least top 15 in order to get admission into construction management or the MTech construction management. And within top 50, we get admission into various IITs for planning related courses, and also the other MTechs that are there, and also explore one course that is there at IIT Bombay. It is related to urban system engineering or something like that, and that is also a very interesting course if you are somebody who wants to understand the urban system from a different perspective, and not from the planning or that kind of a perspective. And yeah, so that's it from my side, and thank you so much, and I hope it was useful and was able to address your queries related to GATE exam.
Thank you, Sonika, for the talk, and I'm sure it was beneficial for the students. So participants can now ask questions. You can ask questions in the group if you want, or if you can also like unmute yourself here and ask any questions that you might have. And while we wait for the questions, I think Kamal sir, if you would like to like say a few closing or your comments on the whole topic.
I think it's an excellent presentation, very well structured, very informative. So I think if I qualified today and if I had to do my preparation, it would be very helpful, so I think it's very well done. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, so participants can now ask questions. If anybody has a question, then please go ahead and mute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi Sonika, very, very fruitful talk. So I was wondering if, am I audible?
Yeah, you
Yes,
are.
you're audible.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to figure out is, I do know about the GATE exam. I've read about the same stuff online as well. What else goes into taking a PhD admission, for example, after the GATE exam? What is it like? Because, for example, international universities have these series of writing proposals and then listening back from the professors, talking to them, etc. What goes into the PhD admissions in the Indian context?
All right. So have you completed your master's program, and are you looking for a PhD admission?
I'm not looking for anything. I just want the answer. Actually, I am an MBA grad, so. But
Yeah.
there
So
are people around me who
in
always
India,
ask this
it is
question
very
to me.
interesting question, and yeah, I understand. So So many candidates who aspire to pursue PhD are not familiar with the kind of the admission process that goes in India. So I'll talk about IITs. So what happens in IITs is that the forms comes out and you just fill in the form, and even if you contact or do not contact any potential supervisor, you could still get admission into PhD. Or even if you are interested in doing your PhD under a particular supervisor, you are impressed or interested in the fields a particular professor is working, so you could always email that particular professor, and you could write a proposal as well. So it would be a good idea to start your PhD preparation when you are in the final semester, let's say fourth semester of your 2 years postgraduate studies. So what you do is you study about the research methodology, and you also figure out the area that you want to research in. So when you appear for the admission process, so it is for architecture graduates, it is going to just be the interview thing, and the other engineering branches. So there might be a question paper as well. So they ask about the basics of your bachelor's, master's, and they pay a lot of attention to research methodology part.
Continuing to that question,
Right. So
I got that. I got that. I will. Another question following up to that is, I mean, I have been writing extensively about the quality of research in India, etc. Does actual research happen in terms of what you guys do at IIT? Because I mean, what I've been reading is that there's only applied research. There's no primary research that's happening. So that was another question. Since you are a PhD scholar yourself.
Yeah. So that would be a discussion that is not related to today's context. So today we are talking about gate architecture and how to prepare and go about it. And I am nobody to comment on the kind of quality or somebody's mehnat of 4 years, 5 years. So of course Indian institutes are also doing great research, is what I would say.
Yeah, I think we are also going like a bit off topic right now. So yeah, if the questions can stay on the topic, we can obviously have a discussion on these later once the webinar is over. I would definitely want to connect Abhinav and Sonika if there's a chance for a discussion after this. But for this webinar, I would prefer we would want if the questions can stay on topic. Yeah, I think Ali wanted to ask a question. So Ali, please go ahead.
Audible? I'm assuming I'm audible.
Yeah, you're.
Yes, you are. Yes, please.
Presentation, it was amazing. At the exam is actually in 2 days, so that was a confidence booster. So what I wanted to ask is that by solving the previous papers, that there's a lot of questions. I mean, let's say 2 or 3 questions, which I guess are purposely set in such a way that they give bonus marks, right? So I mean, I know for sure that the options are all wrong. So what should I do in this case? Should I attempt the question still to the nearest answer, or should I leave the question for the how does the bonus marks work in that in that context?
Yeah. So I couldn't get the point that you're saying, that you understand that all the 4 options are incorrect. So please
yeah. Exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I know for sure that all the options are incorrect, I mean, in terms of units or in terms of a printing mistake or something like that. So should I still attempt the question to the nearest answer?
Go for it.
Okay.
So if you're so dead, all the 4 options are incorrect, so you're going to get marked for that particular question. So even if you attempt it or you do not attempt it, and when you come back home after the examination, let's say you or anybody else who wants to contest that particular question, so IIT is going to give you mark for their mistake.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ali, for the question. Yep.
So in case there's such kind of question, so marks to all kind of situation happens, and marks is awarded to all the candidates regardless of the fact if you have attempted or not attempted the question. And so even if you go to the IIT Kharagpur's website, because that is the one institute that's conducting this particular examination, and have a look at the previous year question papers, and in past, if such thing has happened, So you have been given marks. But it would be a good idea to at least click one of the options so that you become eligible for marks to all kind of situation.
Okay. Yeah. So the next question, please. Okay. So I also do have a question, which is like not particularly about the exam itself, but it's related to like gate, like the process of giving the exam. So it's like, for example, how, like, realistically speaking, what is, according to you, a good chunk of like duration that one requires to, let's say, prepare for the examination? Like, I understand that, and you have also explained, like you have explained that there, like you can attempt the exam multiple times, and giving mock exams also improves your chances. But then there is also a certain aspect to it, which is that most students and architects prepare for the exam alongside their either their education or their jobs, or along those lines. So, what according to you would be like a good time frame, or like a good chunk of, or like a good few months to dedicate to the process of the preparation?
Yeah. See, that is one of the very frequently asked question about the preparation thing. So first of all, I just want to say that there is no shortcut for preparation, because there are students who come up with questions such as, how do I prepare, and I'm left with just 2 months, how do I prepare? And you understand that the question was going to contain a lot of syllabus. You have studied so many things in your 5 years of course. So if you could proportionately make some adjustment of the syllabus that you have studied, and in 5 years, and in how many duration you could revise that. So it's like you do a crash course again of the arc and then appear for the examination. But since the students from fourth, fifth year are also eligible, so it would be a good idea to start from the third year. Maybe let's from third year onwards we could start investing at least 30 minutes, and then if we are more available with time, so we could at least invest 1 hour a day. And I have come across students who have scored single digit rank along with their 1 year of internship. So a systematic management. So if you want to score among top 25 candidates, you have to start preparing, at least give 1 year, because that's what have been the trend. And if you just want to qualify and just become eligible for certain scholarship, or just apply for a PhD program, does not ask you to score a great rank, but you should be at least somebody who has qualified, so that you become eligible for the scholarship and everything. So you just do the numericals at least, and just sit for the examination. And if you understand all the numerical concepts, let's say if you have just spent the 2 months on the numericals, you'll be good to go for just qualifying the examination.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, is there anybody else who wants to ask a question? I do have one question which is in the group. So
and apart from this,
yeah, please go ahead.
can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, sorry. I think I had some connectivity issues. If you would just repeat. Hello. Sonika, am I audible? Yeah, I think there has been some connectivity issue. Sonika, are you here? Sonika? Sonika, are you here? Yeah, Sonika, I think there was some connectivity issue. So, Sonika, can you hear me now? Also, if somebody could tell me if I am audible, because I also was having some connectivity issues on my end. So,
You are audible, Tushar.
okay. Yeah. So I think so. There's also some problem at her end as well. So we'll just wait
Yeah,
for like.
so I think
Okay. So yeah.
I'm back now. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah.
Okay, so I do have like another question. So, Akrimendra Raj Mehta, who is also a mentor, so he mentions that it's an excellent presentation. And it's been very informative, so he congratulates you on that.
Thank you so much, sir.
And he has a question, which is that is the GATE scholarship available to students who are admitted to like private or self-financing colleges?
The answer is no. No such scholarship is usually available at private colleges, and even at not every government college has a scholarship. For example, let's talk about the Trust Murtal. So, if you are a GATE qualified candidate, your chances of getting admission into this particular college that I mentioned has been increased, but you're not going to get scholarship. The scholarship through GATE is available in institutes of national importance or institutes that are centrally funded technical institutes. So, which mean Indian Institute of Technologies, IITs, and SPAs are the institutes which offer scholarship. That is around 12,500 rupees per month. So only the CFTIs are going to offer you a scholarship. So if we talk about private colleges, so that totally depends on the management if that is there, but there's no assurance. But CFTI is definitely going to give you. And if I talk about CCA, Chandigarh College of Architecture, here you have a scholarship, but not every month. So your tuition fee is refunded for the semester as a scholarship.
Okay. So thank you. Is there like any other question? I think like if there is, I would be able to take like one last question if there is. If anybody wants to ask a question, then please you can unmute yourself and ask, or like write it in the group. Let's see. So yeah, I don't think there seems to be no other question.
Meanwhile, yeah.
Yeah, so Sonika, if you want to say something.
So when I was facing this network issue, I was talking about the two books. I was mentioning two books that I would recommend students to study. So Manual of Tropical Housing by Otto Königsberger is one book from which you can expect a lot of questions. And this is one very favorite book of the examiner who prepared the GATE exam. So go through that book. So now it depends. Now, if you have started preparing at a very early stage, so you could start reading from those kind of books as well. And for history of architecture, you could also go for G.K. Hiraskar. And Minister of Literature, history of architecture is available online for free as well.
So I would request if you could just basically write the names of these books down, and I would then present it into the group so that it becomes like available to the participants as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, so if there are no more questions, then I would like to thank Sonika for the presentation. And before closing, I would like to inform everyone about the Every Friday webinar series, which is being organized by the Peria School of Architecture. The webinars are a platform for young professionals to express their ideas and are aimed at students and young architects. Further, we will also be running short-term courses in summer schools, and the information for which will be released very shortly. So I would request everybody to, if possible, keep themselves updated with the Telegram channel of our school. So with this, I would like to end today's webinar. I again thank Sonika for this very informative presentation, and I also thank Kamal sir for his words. Thank you everyone present. Please have a good day.
Okay, thank you so much, Tushar and Peria School of Architecture, Kamal sir, for this wonderful opportunity, and have a good day.
Thank you very much.